Hi! What a surprise seeing you here in my planned thing here. Well, it's day after North Coast 24 Hour. It's in Cleveland. It was my second time at the race. Last year I did 47 some miles and got sick at one point, and I just couldn't run. I could walk without cramping, but if I ran, it wasn't pretty. So almost got to 50. I had this goal of 100K. Didn't work out, and that's okay. So this year, this was, as I call, my comeback big event from the race. So Saturday was exactly 6 months ago that I had my little to-do in Bedford with the pelvic fractures and all that, and everything's healing up well. So I thought, well, I'm gonna go. I thought I would be jogging by now, but it's really, I can just do teeny bits. It's just not comfortable. So I went over there on Friday and got all settled in at the hotel. Went early on Saturday morning, got set up. I used a Sportbrella XL instead of a tent. Susie wasn't with me, so I just need a place for a chair and some other things. Someone made a really good suggestion about putting your clothes in a cooler. So we have a cooler with wheels. Put them in there and shut it tight because it may rain, which it did. I went out and I was cranking out 13, 14-minute miles, and I did that after I led the national anthem down at the pavilion. And so I was averaging under 15-minute miles for hours. And then it got hot. I mean, it seemed hotter than 80 degrees, but you're exposed most of the time. So it got pretty crazy hot, but there was a wind the whole time, so it's actually kind of helping, I think, dehydrate you too. But at least the breeze helped enormously. I did not take any extended breaks more than a minute or two at aid stations or bathrooms until about 7 hours. And then at that point, I had really stressed my body a lot, maybe too much. But anyway, so I took a break at that point for maybe half an hour, and I went quite a while longer, and I think I took another half-hour break. And then once it got I hit 50K, about 11 something. And of course I wasn't moving those whole 11 hours. I would probably have taken at least an hour, hour and a half breaks altogether during that time. Then I decided, you know, I thought a 50 miles was possible. And so, well, I actually toyed with the idea of just stopping at a 50K. Went to the car, and boy, I went to sleep so fast. And woke up 3.5 hours later, and got up, and I was a new man. I felt great. So I went back out, and sometime after 3:30 or something, wow, a storm came, and I was walking with another gal, and we just got plastered coming around by the lake. I mean, just a deluge, and the wind, I mean, it's beating you to death. And you don't want to go back, so I kept going. I did have on a rain jacket, fortunately. I had a rain jacket on at that point. But you know, I put on running pants, but I was just soaked like crazy. Came back around, and my friend I was talking to, I think she decided to stop. Then I went back around, and it sort of calmed down. And then it happened another time. I don't remember the time. It just was crazy rain again. And I didn't change I changed shoes at 7. I put Hoka's on. Speaking of Hoka's, it was a Hoka party. I've never seen so many Hoka shoes in my life. Just here, there, and everywhere, all the different models. I did a really good job of hydrating and drinking and eating. I carried a bottle after a while, but you come around at 0.9 quite often, so you can just grab a drink. And I didn't eat every time. I'd say every second, third time I would grab something, some chips, some peanut M&Ms. Then they had watermelon. Yes, love that. They had some cheese quesadillas, I think with bacon or something in it at one point. I ate little turkey sandwiches, just small bits so you grab and go. So I think I had everything dialed in real well. I believe I found out, probably the most important thing I found out is, of course, this ultra thing is so much mental. I mean, I had so many reasons, you know, excuses to stop. But at hour 7, that's when, I mean, I wasn't cramping. I was just really starting to hurt. I was stressing my body. The longest I'd done is 13.1. I did a little half slow trail ultra over at Howl at the Moon, but I didn't really feel like that was my comeback. I was just walking nice and slow. So my body had not had anything like this. So I know that my stamina is not back, and of course the running bit is not back yet. So I think that's what I really found out. The stamina isn't quite there just yet. Had a great time. This time I got to talk to more people, and also talked to some people that are just there walking. You know, the place is open. There were photo shoots. There was a couple wedding parties there. I don't think they did the wedding there, but they came there for photos. And, you know, people picnicking and all this stuff. Some guys, muscle guys, working at this workout area in this one corner. This one guy had a kale shirt on. He's a vegan. And I talked to him. And then he was out jumping rope all night long. It looked like he was just going forever. So it was fun talking to people. Some knew me, knew about my situation. Others didn't. We just talked. And so that's always a big fun thing about this. And of course, watching the elites, I was lapped. I don't think I was halfway around, and here I got lapped the first time. So some incredible runners. I think the top runner did over 150, I think. And so, again, North Coast is a great event, and you can just have to expect the weather. You're right there by Lake Erie, and you can just expect things. It was neat in the middle of the night when it was dark and then the lightning was out there on the lake, pretty far out. One time it was right overhead, a little scary, but that I didn't experience that but just once, it seemed like. But I didn't have an umbrella to be a lightning rod. And so I feel like it was a really good event. What did I end up with? I went from that point where I thought I was going to stop 50K, which is 31.1. I ended up with 43.2, I believe it was the final number. And so I'm very, very pleased with that, coming back with that for a first time kind of long event. And again, one of the most fun things is just meeting people. And then, of course, I recognized people from last year, and then there were people I'd met at other races. Speaking of, when I left on Sunday, left on Sunday, I mean, I was really tired, and I didn't stop at the first rest park on I-71 or whatever it is, heading down to Columbus. But I stopped the second one, and I went out, man. I slept for half an hour, woke up, slept another half an hour, and then I started to get up, and all of a sudden I heard someone say, hi. And it was Rosie, I forget her last name, Rosie, who I've seen her at other races too. She had been at North Coast. She goes, well, I thought that was you. And so we talked a little bit, and then by the time I'm backing out, she's already in her car, feet up, sleeping. I think she'd already stopped once before, but I had to have a nap. There's no way I could make it. So I pretty much drove straight until I got to Bob Evans. I came back 4 pounds heavier than when I left, because I ate a lot on the way up and way back. So you can't burn as many calories walking, but I think I gained a lot of that weight on Sunday because I had 2 big meals at 2 different Bob Evans on the way back. So it was a great time. And in 4 weeks, I go to South Bend to St. Pat's 24-hour race. It's in support of ALS research, and went there last year, and it's a small event. If you're looking for another event, I mean, I know there weren't even 100 people. It may be more this year, I don't know. But you can do 24, 12, or 6. And there's a barn you can stay in, and it's a 3-mile trail loop. Unbelievable catered food. I mean, you just cannot believe it. So I'm looking forward to that. And then in November, I have a 50-miler over at Vienna, Illinois, that I'm going to give it a try, because you get the same amount of time to do 50 as you do 100. So I can do 30 hours if I want to. I won't take that long. But anyway, it was a good weekend. I'm a little sore. Ankles probably the most. So in a day or two, I'm going to start walking on some trails some more to help with my ankles. Other than that, my core did great, because my core has never been in better shape. So coming along, stamina is still way down there, but I'm moving along and very, very grateful. See ya.